Hi, it's Tessa, and I'm back today with more of a vlog video about my health because I want to do a series on different types of gluten and dairy-free foods that they offer, but I wanted to do this before that to tell you how I got to this point. So, back in March, in the middle of March, I got really sick. I had a lot of head congestion, so I went to the doctor thinking I had a sinus infection. I had a sinus infection back in December, and he was like, well, there's a strain of sinus infection going around that's resistant to the Z-Pack, so we'll put you on Bactrim. So he gave me a 14-day supply and told me to take the Sudafed that is behind the counter that you have to show your ID for. I have Hashimoto's, which is a thyroid disease, so I have to be very careful with decongestants because it'll mess with my heart rate. So I took the Sudafed one night, and I was so, it was like I took uppers. I was out of it, anxious and shaky, and it was a mess. So anyway, there's a bee flying around or something. So I took my 14 days of Bactrim, and it did start to drain, like down into here, and the pain was so bad. I was dizzy and nauseous, and I had headaches, and just in a lot of pain. So I went, after the 14 days, to another doctor, my family doctor this time. The last time I just went to a clinic. And he said, well, it sounds like it's draining, so we'll give you 10 more days of Bactrim. If that don't help, you're going to have to go to an ear, nose, and throat specialist, and you might have to have surgery and get it cleaned out. And I'm like, oh, that's not even an option for me. I'm not doing that. So I took the 10 more days of Bactrim. And it drained down into here, and it felt like it was just stuck, like it wouldn't come out. I was so sick and so miserable, and by this point I was already on Bactrim for 24 days, and I was sick from that. I was really, really sick from the Bactrim. And I called the pharmacy, and he said when you're on antibiotics that long, and that strong of antibiotics, that it can make you sick. Like your electrolytes can get low, and other things can happen. So I started taking a probiotic. My sinuses were still really, really bad. So I decided that instead of going to an ENT, I was going to do the natural health route. So I did so much research and so many different things, and I started the oil pulling, which I have a video, which I'll link below, about that. So I started oil pulling. I started taking apple cider vinegar twice a day, a teaspoon in apple juice. I started a neti pot. If you don't know what a neti pot is, it's like a little pot that you put distilled body temperature distilled water in with a solution. Pour it in your nose to clean it all out. Absolutely disgusting, but it did help some. I did get some stuff out, but not enough. I put heat on my face. Absolutely anything that I could think of to get relief. I was taking Advil every day because the headaches were so bad and non-stop. And mind you, all this time I could not taste, I could not smell. I was in severe pain. I was still going to work every day. I didn't miss any days of work because of this. I didn't really tell anybody how sick I was. I don't think I really even told my husband how sick I was. I was just so sick. I was getting frustrated and depressed, and it was bad. So I'm doing all this research, and by then it's 24 days later, so we're into April and into May, and I came across, through all my internet research, about food elimination diets, and how gluten and milk, food intolerances, allergies, sensitivities, can play a big part in how your sinuses react to things. So I decided on May 8th that I was going to go on a food elimination diet, and I eliminated gluten and dairy from my diet. That was May 8th, so that's 30 days later. While I was on the food elimination diet in June, I decided to go to the ENT because I still had no relief. I was still sick. It was interfering with my quality of life. I didn't leave the house except to go to work. I just wasn't pleasant. I wasn't myself. So I went to the ENT. He did a x-ray, and he said everything was inflamed in there, but there was no polyps or any obstructions of any kind, and I probably had allergies to something. So I find out that I have vasomotor rhinitis, which is an allergic reaction It's a non-allergic allergic reaction, but I have problems with the changes in the weather. So on the days when it's nice and not humid, I'm fine, and then on the days when it's rainy or really humid, I do get nasal congestion. He gave me a steroid, oral steroid, which helped greatly, but as soon as I went off of it, I was sick again. And he also gave me a nasal steroid spray, which I have not used yet. The first one he gave me, I think I mentioned in another video that it can eat like a hole in your nose, and I was like not into that one. So when I went back, he gave me a different one, which I have yet to try. I did incorporate dairy back into my diet, just cheese, because I miss cheese so much, and the only thing that I really wanted to eat was cheese. So after a week on dairy, all congested again. Everything that I felt like I've gained, I lost. So I had to go back off dairy. So I'm pretty sure it is casein, which is a milk protein, because I can't have dairy. And I did eat gluten accidentally twice during all this, and my stomach hurt so bad, and I was so sick, so gluten's out too. When it comes to eating, it is a life-changing thing. I mean, you have to be careful and read everything, absolutely everything. I don't think I have celiac disease. There's some extensive testing for that, and I'm not going to put myself through that. I'm just going to avoid gluten. I don't seem to have to be careful about cross-contamination and things like that, so I doubt that I have celiac disease. Thank God, because that is horrible. I would not want that, and anybody that has that, I just feel for them, because it would be really, really hard to adjust, especially with the cross-contamination. So for right now, it's gluten and dairy free. And that brings me to the point of the series where I am trying a lot of foods out, and they're expensive. Let's face it, these specialty foods can be very, very expensive. And I'd like to do this series on my empties of things I try and whether they're worth the price or whether you could just skip them, because you hate to see somebody spend money on stuff that just is crap, and it's really expensive crap. So that's a little bit of my backstory of how I got to this point with my food and my food sensitivities or intolerances. But I just wanted to make this little vlog video. I did go back to the doctor a week and a half ago, and my inflammation is way down, but I still can't smell. I got most of my sense of taste back, but my smell's not there. I did smell one day while I was on the oral steroids, so we don't think there's any damage to the nerve. So I just need to get all the inflammation down, so maybe it'll come back eventually. I need to start the nasal spray, and hopefully that'll help. So for right now, that's where I'm at. And my next video that I will put up about this is going to be on my empties of the foods I tried. So thanks for watching, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.